So earlier this morning, when it was still sunny, I took a trip about an hour north to a nursery I like to visit at least once a year, usually right about this time, which is bare root fruit tree time. Bare root fruit trees are a great way to build yourself a fruit orchard a little bit at a time, much less expensive this way, and also it's just better for the trees to get planted when they're dormant. Hi, I'm Kim, and this is Olive City Oasis, my property here in Northern California, Zone 9B. Now, even though I called the nursery ahead of time, they weren't sure they had the varieties of fruit trees I wanted. They said they were selling things so fast, they just couldn't keep up with the inventory. So I just crossed my fingers, drove up there, and hoped for the best. So I'm going to take you now and show you what I found. Also, if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a few things that have inspired me as I plan on changing my gardens a bit, adding a little more landscaping, making my oasis here more and more enjoyable for me. Though I didn't buy any of the things I saw, they gave me some great ideas for some things I want to do around here to just make the landscaping in my little oasis garden even more enjoyable and relaxing. And I think you might enjoy seeing them too.
Okay, this is what I'm here for. I want to get a few bare root fruit trees, and they do have a few. I especially am looking for a cherry, so let's see what they've got here. Well, it said this was the cherry aisle, but these are nectarines, and I don't need any nectarines. I already have a few. Okay, here are some cherries, a van, more vans, Stella, which is very good. It would cross-pollinate with my Rainier, and that's what I'm looking for. More Stellas. In fact, all I'm seeing is Stella and van. So I found some more. Here's a Royal Rainier. A regular Rainier. What's this one? A Royal Anne. Oh, and a Royal Crimson. And see how straight upward these branches are going? I mean, you could rectify this by pruning above an outward facing bud here or here and doing that on all of them, but the spread between them is very narrow. Better to go with one like this. You still would prune for an outward facing bud to get your branches, here's one, going, in 3 or 4 different directions from the scaffolding branches, but they have a wider spread, which is going to be much better for the tree in the long run as the branches grow bigger. Okay, here we have a Lapin's cherry, which I really like these. It's a cross between a van and a Stella, and a good cross-pollinator for my Rainiers. Very sweet, dark fruits, early bearing, self-fruitful, but again, a good cross-pollinator for the Rainier, which I love. So this Lapin's cherry has a mazzard rootstock, which is actually great. It is known to be somewhat dwarfing, and it's really good in heavier, wetter soils. And where I'm gonna put this next to my really fruitful Rainier is probably the spot on my property that tends to be the wettest. It's on the downward slope of a hill, and being that I have a mix of clay and sand soil in different parts of my property, that area is more clay than sand. So I think this will be a great choice for that. Now, as far as the Stella goes, it is, let's see, needs 700 chill hours, which is hours beneath 45 degrees. And, that's not that hard to do. Cherries are borderline here in Zone 9B, but I've had really great success with the cherries I've grown. So, yeah, this one is on Maxima 14 rootstock. I'm going to get this one because I like the spread of these branches, which again, I will be pruning back to outward facing buds. There's one there because that will promote growth going outward from the tree. And there's a good spread here between these 3 scaffolding branches. But yeah, the Maxima 14 rootstock is dwarfing and tolerates wet soil, well anchored, and very little suckering. Ooh, I like that. Little suckering is always great. Bare root fruit trees have so many advantages compared to potted fruit trees, and I have a couple of videos that go into all the advantages of bare root fruit trees. They've got them here in the nursery with this damp pine shavings keeping their roots nice and moist, and you do want to get them planted pretty soon after you get them home. But yeah, being dormant right now, best time to put them in the ground, really. Look at that great root system. And the Lapin's root system looks wonderful too. Okay, well that is basically what I came for, and I'm pretty happy about that. But you know, I can't just head home without looking around and seeing what else is here. Might catch my attention. Look at all these great water features. The elephant is so cute. I really like this hanging bench. It's a swing. This one is really cool. And you know, hummingbirds would just love that. Okay, I really love this one. I think it's my favorite. Yeah, I definitely need to add more water features to my garden. I want to put in a little pond too. I mean, nothing this elaborate. And maybe not this year. At least, not a lot this year. Maybe one little thing or two. But I do find the sound of water so relaxing, almost meditative. So I definitely want to incorporate it more into my oasis. Yeah, this swing is definitely a must at some point. And surprisingly comfortable too. How much is this thing anyway? I can't find a price anywhere on it, so I'll need to ask, but that might be worth saving for.
So here's one of the cherry trees that I bought. It is the Rainier, and it is in my back garden, as you can tell, next to my chicken coop and my chicken run and olive orchard. And it fit in very nicely here. As you can see, last year this was a cherry tomato bed, but this year it's going to be all about the cherry trees. And here you can see where I have pruned it at a slant. That's what you need to do to prevent infection, to let the rain just slide right off of the branch. And this way the tree will send out a new branch outward from the center, which is what you want. Here I've got another one. And lastly, on the third scaffolding branch, I've got another outward facing bud right here. Now in the ground, down under the roots, I folded over some of this chicken wire
in triplicate so that perhaps I can keep gophers away from the roots of this tree. It's definitely a goal of mine to protect that root system until it's firmly established. Getting some rain in the next few days, and that is going to be very good for this tree. Now, if you're curious about more details about planting bare root fruit trees, I have a whole playlist that I made last year around this time, January, February, March, that really goes into everything you could probably want to know about planting bare root fruit trees, and even what are the advantages to them, and where can you find them, and just everything. And if you don't find something you're looking for in one of those videos, be sure to ask me a question. Leave a comment there, and I will answer you. Well, the sun is going down, and I have a birthday cake to go inside and bake for this evening. And so, well, I think I'm going to plant my other 2 cherry trees that I got today in the morning. That will be fine. Their roots are perfectly protected in those bags, and they're in the shade, and they'll be just fine until tomorrow. Actually, they could probably go another couple of days, but I'm going to get them in the ground tomorrow. So you might wonder why I said 3 cherry trees when I only showed you 2 at the nursery. It's because I went back, got a 3rd. I couldn't help myself. I mean, I don't want to resent the birds for gobbling down their fair share, so I planted a few extra so there's plenty to go around. Now, if you've followed my channel for very long, you might be wondering, why are you buying another fruit tree? I have over 60, or is it 65, fruit trees at this point, but well, not only is there always another variety of fruit tree I want, but it is really important to have the right varieties of trees to cross-pollinate your fruit trees. Because although some fruit trees are self-fertile, almost all of them will produce a lot more with the right cross-pollinating tree. And there are some fruit trees that absolutely require a cross-pollinating tree. So make sure that you look into that when you go about buying your bare root trees. Now, I've started planting some fruit trees in my backyard, as opposed to my big fruit and nut orchard down in my front property area. So I needed to get at least 1, maybe 2, maybe more, fruit trees to cross-pollinate some of the ones I planted here last year. If you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I really want to get to know you too. So if you've never commented before, now would be a great time to say hi. If you have any questions about fruit trees or anything else that I grow, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Thanks again for joining me today, and until next time, happy growing.
The elephant is so cute.